Welcome to Shouldn't Laugh But with me, Laura Smith.
And me, Carmen Butcher.
On the pod this week, we're looking at the Take That documentary, Never. It all felt very personal. So when Robbie did strike out on his own, he was gloves off. And then when they all got back together, it was healing. And I just thought, isn't this all of our journey comes? This way I get deep.
And we're talking about murder mystery parties. Literally, the murderer at the end was me because I still didn't understand it, even when they told us who the murderer was.
And Margot Robbie being hot in Wuthering Heights. I think of early days when I met Mayim indoors. I would be so jealous.
I'm still there.
Are you still there?
Oh,
do you get jealous of exes and everything? Or
oh, no, not exes, just like on the street that look at my image door. And also it's so What are you wearing to my birthday?
Well, glad you asked. I have a really bougie top. I'm gonna go black. I like black. You wonder why I always dress in black, and then you never see bright colours on my back. It's because I'm fat. No, I think I'm wearing black, but sparkle, spangle, bing, bang, bong.
Yes, I'm all here for it. I'm all here for the sparkle. Got my sparkly nails done.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my nails done. I'm gonna go like red, obviously. Yeah. Red, pop.
Pop.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And we saw that your makeup artist.
Yes, I'm well excited, mate. I'm so excited about the whole thing.
I love it.
But that's to come.
We've
still got a few weeks.
Oh, and we've got to do the pod. We've got to actually work.
But we've got to actually catch up about this week.
Oh, mate.
What's going on, mate?
There's a lot going on. We're going to do it. Welcome to Shouldn't Laugh But with me, Laura Smith.
And me, Carmen Butcher.
This is the pod where we laugh at things, so don't be horrible to us, all right?
Yeah, we've had enough of people being horrible to us.
Yeah, we're allowed to be horrible. Yeah, we're allowed to be horrible about everyone, and you're not allowed to be horrible about us. And that's how it works. Because we're ladies.
Because we're sensitive and vulnerable. But yeah, we're allowed to rinse people, but we can't. We're not. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But
yeah.
We've had a beating.
But we've had an emotional week. R.I.P.
Oh, Queen Catherine O'Hara.
Everybody's mama.
Oh, the Bebe's Chambers.
Where is Bebe's chamber?
Did you watch Schitt's Creek?
Yeah.
Or are you just thinking, what are you talking about?
No, I do know what you're talking about. I haven't done a deep dive on Schitt's Creek, right? Yeah. I love her. Yeah. But my mum is so obsessed with Schitt's Creek and Catherine O'Hara, Moira, in Schitt's Creek, that she now says best wishes to us instead of lots of love. My mum's not super affectionate, just like Moira. And she'll go, best wishes.
Best wishes. What about Bebe?
Bebe.
What about
her bebes? I feel really sad. Can I give you a quote from Catherine O'Hara that sums up this pod and how we live our life?
Always.
She said, in life, there is nothing better than laughing, especially a laugh when you most need it.
Oh, that's made me a bit wet-eyed. My sister texted me and said, this has actually made me a bit wet-eyed. And I was like...
I love you're so she's daughters. Oh, Carmen, your eyes are wet. Stop having emotion.
Why you have wet eye? Yeah, wet eye.
It always makes me laugh when it doesn't make me laugh. Sorry, Catherine, but you know when a celebrity dies and everyone gets a little bit Diana,
yes.
Princess Di, but the number of people said this one hurts. That
yes,
because 71's no age. No one knew she's had such a kind of renaissance from early days, from like Home Alone, Beetlejuice, and all these top 90s films.
SNL 80s. As well. Was she on SNL?
She was on SNL. I didn't realise, she's just this beautiful actress.
Yeah.
And she was so beautiful and so demure and brilliant in like Home Alone when most of us first, and Beetlejuice when we first got introduced to her. But she, in the John Candy doc, you realised how much she was part of like the improv scene coming up through Canada with Eugene Levy. So
John Candy,
and she gave a eulogy at John Candy's funeral, and you just think, what a solidly brilliant woman. And then another clip that's gone viral where someone's just accosted her in the airport and said, what role would you most like to be remembered for? And she said, mother to my children. And it's just this, it's such a huge loss to cinema, but you think, I've got wet eye.
You got wet eye?
I'm wet eye for Catherine O'Hara.
No, but she was amazing. She was a comedy queen.
Imagine that being your mum, your actual mum. And then Macaulay Culkin gave such a tribute where he said, I thought we had more time. But we don't have more time. So laugh with people you love. I think live, laugh, love is what we're saying.
You take that back. You take that back right now. We do not live, laugh, love in this pod.
Fine. Let's move on to something more in our wheelhouse and not be wet eye. Apparently, Kim Kardashian's dating Lewis Hamilton. Hard launch at the Grammys.
Yeah, I did not know this until about 5 minutes ago when you told me. I can see it.
I was going to say the same thing. You know when? I know exactly what you said about I see it. We weren't feeling Pammy and Liam. Pamela Anderson, Liam Neeson. No. We were like, oh. But, you know, it's like when he went out with Shirt Swinger. He was with Nicole Shirt Swinger. That made sense.
That makes absolute sense.
He's a hottie, she's a hottie.
Yeah.
You just want equal hotness.
Yeah, and I think it makes more sense than Kanye because I feel like Lewis is probably a bit softer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean...
A bit of a softer guy.
Kanye's a genius, though.
He is a genius, but Kim doesn't want a genius.
No, yeah, because she can't pass the bar exam.
Did she not pass it?
No, she's done it a few times. But, look, I'll diss Kim all day long. It's fun. But, mostly because we're the same age and she looks like an absolute...
Yeah.
Bumper ping.
Yeah. And, you know...
And I look like this.
This is what I mean. They look good together. I can see it.
And money.
Oh, God. When two monies collide.
Oh, mate.
Fucking hell.
I should be so lucky. Yeah, I feel like it makes sense. I feel like we're feeling it. Another thing I'd like to talk about in terms of dating, right? The Beckham drama rumbles on.
I've got a question about the Beckham drama.
Go for it.
I saw a video of Cruise and Victoria dancing and they tagged Tom Cruise in it. Why? Why was Tom Cruise tagged? I don't understand. I want you to explain it to me because you're quite hot on these things.
What were they dancing to?
Don't know. They were dancing and it just had a tag at Tom Cruise. Was he there?
Private joke. What they're doing, I watched a really good analysis of the Beckham drama where they were talking about roles in dysfunctional families. Now, the Beckhams are way more functioning than us, but actually it would be huge pressure just by their fame and everything they're going through, you know, that actually then... children have to assume roles within that family. Sometimes they're the comedian, sometimes they're the rebel, sometimes they're the hero. Oldest child is often the hero legs over there.
What's the middle child?
No, it doesn't matter where they come, it's just that they assume these roles. So what happens, they were saying, is that in these family roles, he assumes the hero role, like he tries to toe the line. If you watch interviews, he's super famous, he does all these things. Like as in, he plays the famous role, he defends his parents, he talks about them gently. And they say this hero role often marries someone really strong, bolshy, confident and arrogant. She's apparently on £1 million allowance, old Nicola Peltz Beckham, a month, not a yearly allowance, a month. We'll be fine, we'll get it when we're podcast millionaires. Yeah. But when you date this person, it's like you can't serve two masters. So everyone's slamming old Brooklyn. I just think for the sake of his marriage, he's had to say, I can't function in my role in this family, I'm backing away. And they said what will happen is, now, because he's done that, because of this solid Beckham unit, what they'll do is not speak on it, not open up, but they'll show a united front. So she won some big award in France or had some big show in France. Somehow they wheel out Cruz and Romeo's girlfriends. I feel like I'm following a TV series and they've just randomly they've just randomly introduced two new characters that are now apparently in the main show. And I'm like, who are these girls? No shade. So they're basically saying, look at us, we accept girlfriends. And Cruz has been a little bit to his brother. It's fine, of course. They've just got to rumble on. They're successful. They make money. Sometimes, you know, when you're trying to work out how to pay your fucking tax bill and pay your daughter's residential at school and all that sort of stuff, you think, I couldn't give a... Actually, you're doing all right, Bex. You're doing all right.
It's fine.
It's fine. You're friends with Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
well
we get
done.
It. We get it. But
crack on.
I was talking about this with my friend from work yesterday, actually, and she was saying that everyone...
Carmen, once again, I'm your friend from work.
Sorry. I don't have any other friend. It was my colleage. It was my colleague. I don't have friends.
Thank you very much.
It's literally, and my pie is just going to be me and you. It's just stood there.
Do you know what? Have you heard, there's a Norm Macdonald joke where he says a man moves into a farm area and an old farmer lives next door. It's in rural, and he goes, the old farmer knocks on the door and he shows himself to be really friendly. He's like, look, I'm having a party tonight, come over. And he goes, it will just be drinking, fucking and fighting. And he goes, all right, what time shall I come? He goes, anytime you want, it's just me and you. It's the best Norm Macdonald joke ever.
Brilliant.
You're
love
talking
it.
to your friends, your
I was talking to
colleagues.
my
You can have
friends.
friends. You can have another job.
She was saying, how come everyone's coming out of the woodwork about this? And she said they all want their 5 minutes of fame. And I sat there and thought about it and thought, yeah, kind of like what me and Laura did. Everyone's coming out of the woodwork talking about it for their 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
These guys.
Yeah, these guys. Everyone's like,
Jumping on the bandwagon, mate.
I better do a pod about that. Spice Girls reunion. Just get your
Daily
all in.
Mail. Went viral.
Went viral. We're not
Daily
Daily
Mail. Right, so, well, yeah, still rumbling on. We love it. We love it. We're here
I
for
just
it.
love it. I'm
And we will
obsessed.
talk about it every opportunity.
Beckham. Algorithm. Stephen Bartlett.
Oh, we're coming on to him later, I think.
Oh, don't. Anyway. Take that on Netflix. OMG.
Take that,
World's
Doc.
greatest boy band. Shoot.
What were your
So
thoughts?
good.
I need to hear your thoughts about it.
Do you know what? The main thing I loved is that all the boys were involved. You had all 5 of their voices narrating and going through it. Now, it was a bit warts and all, I felt.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
I did feel it was really honest and accountable, and it really showed like how big they were. It was a
Yes.
phenomenon.
Agreed.
You know, it was unbelievable. They put the hard work in by the time they blew up, and they were so young. You can't knock Gary Barlow. We mug him off. He's a little Tory boy. He's got his own wine.
This is my idea of a very nice day out.
He's a butt of a joke, but because he's so talented, that is a young kid obsessed with music, can write an absolute banger.
What I did really realise about Gary Barlow
What?
is that he's actually not as bad as we made him out to be. And I actually think that it just goes to show how powerful the media was back then. Because obviously Robbie was up here and everyone loved Robbie. Robbie was like the golden child, and he was the one that was like, yeah, Gary Barlow's a dickhead, Gary Barlow. And he sort of admits it. He was like, yeah, I was a bit selfish, but actually he's not as bad as we thought.
Right. I watched it thinking, I hate Robbie. And then at the time, oh, you hate Gary. Everyone was like that. They were kids. Robbie
was
they
15.
were all 15,
Yeah.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Gary there's so much accountability. You can tell they've done the work because they left. We're in the wilderness for 10 years. We're broken. You know, Harold Donald talks about being like on the edge of wanting to throw himself off a flipping bridge. You know, Jason Orange suffered in the sort of wilderness years, and also feeling overlooked, like they were just backup dancers that they were just adding to. Because Gary Barlow was the original talent. That's what, and adding to Gary Barlow, you know, this manager built everything around Gary, so everyone else felt quite overlooked. It all felt very personal. So when Robbie did strike out on his own, he was gloves off. And then when they all got back together, it was healing. And I just thought, isn't this all of our journey comes? This way I get deep. You do all these crazy shit in your late teens, early 20s. You feel bad and feel like shit and just rumble through your 20s making more mistakes and not loving yourself. And then you do the work.
And then
You dig deep.
together.
Yeah, then you get back together with yourself
with-
sometimes, but with a band, and how much it meant to them and how awesome. They weren't just cynically getting back together. Like, they did stadium tours and wrote really good songs. And Jason Orange stepped in on when they all got back together to say, well, we need writing credits too. We need royalties too, because
I'm broke.
I'm broke. If we're not together, we're broke. So now Jason Orange has disappeared again, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
But he's living large and in charge in Ibiza. So fair play, Jason.
Fair
I
play.
want that.
Did
career
you
trajectory.
spend the whole time Googling how much they made out of the Circus Tour and the Progress Tour? Because
I didn't.
I did.
Was it silly money?
Progress Tour alone, this is what Google says, so I don't know if it's verified, but
Oh,
they
Google.
each made like 7 mil from
Good.
that tour. And I was like, yeah.
And
yeah,
they're
you
still
would do that,
but
wouldn't
they're
you?
still touring as a 3. I didn't
Yeah.
even realise that. I need to go and see him because I did go to the Circus Tour because my sister was
Did
die hard take that.
you?
I was not take that. I was E70.
E17, baby. Well, I was thinking because there was a lot of girls in my school that would take that fans, and they were there with their Mark Owen posters. Guess what I had? Bon Jovi Slippery When Wet CD that my mum had given me.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi. That was the first CD my mum gave me, and I was 8. And do you remember when you got CDs and they had like the little booklets inside? Do you remember those days where you get a CD?
Yeah, of course.
I was there looking at my Bon Jovi booklet. There's just girls in bikinis draped over cars, like shiny, slippery cars.
Your mum's a weirdo, isn't she? What was that all about? Slippery When Wet? I remember that album. Yeah, but this, you know what, this is the thing about the 90s, right? I want to tell you something about the 90s, yeah, is that it was the dawn of MTV. So we were consuming so much good music. You had all the alternative and grunge stuff, all the pop stuff, you know, MTV bass, all the hip hop stuff. You were just aware of everything. Now everyone curates stuff. They curate stuff on their algorithm, curate stuff on Spotify. There's so many cultural phenomenons now, isn't there, that we are just like having wholesale. So you knew it all. Like there's grunge tunes that I just knew, but even though I weren't into it.
Is there still hysteria? So like on the Take That doc, so obviously screaming girls fainting. Is there still that hysteria?
I think K-pop has all that, doesn't it?
Does it?
Yeah, people like love K-pop. Swifties are like, if we insulted Taylor Swift on this pop.
Oh, I would
never. Are you mad?
Never. No
The
way.
Swifties are obsessed. So I think there is this hysteria and obsession. Spice Girls. We all had it, even, you know, we had it for the girls. But Take That was unreal. My sister was obsessed. She went to all their concerts. If they were at the Big Breakfast House in Stratford on Old Ford Lock, she would bunk off school to go and see them. And her favourite was Mark Owen. Now, anyone that's watched the doc knows that she backed the right one.
Yeah.
All this warts and all. Mark Owen is just like this little light that Robbie loved throughout the drama. Gary loved him. No one's got a bad word to say about him. He was like, oh yeah, then I got dropped from the record label. And I was a bit sad for a minute. And it's like, oh, I got the wrong record deal, Gromit. You know, he's just the nicest guy in the world. He was so beautiful.
They were really beautiful. And again, did not appreciate.
Gary was fit. They were all fit.
Yeah,
Jason Orange and Howard Donald fit. And then they become these sorts of like joke figures. Like Jerry Halliwell was seen as the fat old one. Are you mental, you lot?
Sorry, I just was like, what?
I know, that's how they were.
Sexy.
And it was the tabloids.
What? Did I tell you about my Howard Donald story? So when I was at uni, when I was a little rave girl, me and my mates went to a rave and we were like, oh, this DJ's banging. Who the hell is this? Yeah, loving it. It was Howard Donald. Howard Donald was the DJ and he was amazing. So
amazing.
If he's out of a job, I think he should go back to being a house DJ.
Well, they're all still touring. I mean, bless him.
Took him away from his DJing days.
I just loved it. You know, Take That, banger after banger after banger. But I was watching the whole thing like, oh my God, why have they not mentioned Never Forget? You know when you go to a concert or you're at a rave or something and you're like, they haven't dropped this tune yet. And you're like, why haven't you? And then when they drop it, you're like, oh yeah, that's, of course.
They
dropped, mate, I don't want to spoil alert, but when they drop Never Forget at the end of the doc, you're like, never. I was Googling merch. I was like, I backed the wrong pony. But obviously I'm still at E17.
E17, yeah.
What's your favourite E17 tune?
The all right, if it's gonna be any boy band that has a member that runs himself over after eating too many jack potatoes, in my eyes, God status.
Mine is Deep. Yo, we're going deep, baby, deep down.
Yes.
Shit, rest upon my chest. Yeah, I'll butter toast. If you lit the knife. I love that tune.
Nostalgia. That reminds me of being at Roller World.
Yeah.
8 years old.
Oh my God.
I did love E17 because I was more of a dance girly.
Yeah.
Even back in those days. All right. They had some absolute bangers.
Yeah, Tony Mortimer, absolute great songwriter as well.
Yes.
But obviously, I feel like Take That could reform and move on because they could have accountability. But these East End sort of Walthamstow boys, they're not going to have the big deep chats where like,
too many.
Yeah. Sorry about that, bro. Still. Yeah. But talking about nostalgia, my husband would never ever watch a doc like that. He hates the recent past.
Ooh.
Like he can't go in charity shops.
I kind of get that.
Anything is like, why? I don't want to look at things like 10, 20 years ago. It's like, I don't know what it is. It makes his skin crawl.
Yeah.
I kind of get it though. You know, like when you do makeup tutorials and like makeup from 2016. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same things. 10 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. Although I did think in the Take That doc, when they first got back together and it was like 2006 and the footage looked like it was from the 80s. I was like, shut up. How is that?
I know.
No, how
but
is that?
But it does
2000?
freak you out, doesn't it? Because you're watching it in real time and you know what? I do worry that there's just a certain kind of innocence that we've lost. The way you could just absolutely love stuff, because those girls that are still going to their concert, they're all in their 40s and 50s now, them girls that like still are like diehard to that, because it's like the thing about loving a boy band or a group when you're young, the way you love them never goes. It's like your first love, like that first cut is the deepest. And their songs still stand. And the songs that they wrote in their reunion, I just big up Take That.
A lot of respect for Take That.
What they didn't relight my fire.
They did do a bit of relight my fire, didn't they? All I do each night is pray.
Oh, mate.
Maybe we should do like a reenactment.
Sexual awakening for a lot of teenage girls.
Yeah, definitely. Talking about sexual awakening. What have you been up to?
Coming up.
So
what we've been up to.
What we've been up to next.
You know they put the music on comes.
So I went to my friend's 40th. So the 40th, the year of the 40th, so Rumblin'. My good friend Lauren, who's a fan of the pod, she loves the pod.
Shout out Loz.
She's coming to see you.
Yeah.
Her and a couple of friends. But anyway, she had a murder mystery, right?
Okay.
What are your thoughts about a murder mystery? Because really, you tell me what your thoughts are and I'll tell you what mine are.
This is my thoughts about murder mystery. I act like I'm not competitive.
Yep.
But I am competitive. I go weird at a pub quiz. I go weird.
Fair.
Murder mystery, you get so into the dressing up and fun.
Yes.
But I don't ever like feeling stupid. And by God, do they make me feel stupid. I'm like Roxy in Traitors. You know when she found out that Stephen and Rachel were the traitors, she still went, I hope they win. Even when a murder mystery's being explained to me, I'm like, no, didn't pick it. It's like getting to the end of a book and going, so who was Matthew again? Do you know what I mean? I have mixed feelings.
I tell you, that's exactly how I feel, because literally the murderer at the end was me, because I still didn't fucking understand it even when they told us who the murderer was. It was like, Carmen, you're not supposed to actually murder someone. I don't fucking understand. They give you, so there's this huge sheet and you're reading the background, you're like, right, okay. And then it's like, you need to speak to these people. And it's just so random. Like, you just go up to someone you've never met before and be like, living off that is pathetic. And they're just like, then they go back to their script and they're like, don't you tell, you know, and it's like, oh, okay. So I'm trying to like get stuff.
Wait, you were told you were the murderer at the start?
No. So you get this sheet and you're told, no one knows who the murderer is. This is the other thing that's really confusing. And then you have like lines to say to other guests. So you're mingling around.
Yeah.
So you like find the mayor of...
Wait, did someone lead this though?
Yeah, so her husband organised the whole thing, which was amazing. He like set everything up and it just looked, it looked bloody brilliant. Like you walked in, it was like, there's a star. It was all 1920s themed.
Oh, nice.
So we were like, I'm going to make you a star. My friend was a talent agent, like, but I still didn't understand.
You spent all night trying, look, can you just sign me? And you're like, no, Carmen, it's not real.
I'm not an actual talent agent. My mate was like, I'm not an actual prostitute.
I literally work in finance.
Yeah, what are you talking about? And then there was clues, right? So there's a bit where everyone had to find the clues. You know how you were saying you were really competitive? Yeah. And you're like, right, I'm not competitive and I'm thick. So I was literally just stood there, drool coming out like, brr. And then they had everyone lined up with the clues. And I was really listening. And I was like, they were like, yeah, lucky strikes. And I was like, oh, well, it must be so-and-so because I saw her have a fag earlier. Again, her character doesn't smoke. All these things. And then we get to the bottom of it. Murder is revealed. You. Not me. Birthday girl. Obviously the birthday girl.
I thought you said you were the murderer.
I wasn't the murderer. I murdered someone because I didn't understand the bloody game. That was the joke. I was saying I ended up being the murderer, murdering someone because I didn't understand the game.
This is what I mean.
You're so like lost with the murder mystery.
No, but the only time I've done a murder mystery, and it was a bit weird actually. The only time I've done a murder mystery, right? I was on a writers' retreat. I got selected to be part of these like, you know, upcoming writers' retreat, and I was away for a few days, and it's brilliant house in Sevenoaks and all this. And then we got a professional in to direct us through it. But I think they knew that they were at a BBC writers retreat thing. So I think they went like, this is my moment. The way they were, I was like, right, calm down. Like,
Were they actors?
Oh,
Were they
mate, you're one person. It's not an audition. Like, they were a bit intense. I didn't have a clue. Because the other thing is, you're just pissed as a fart as well.
I know,
aren't you?
that's the problem.
He's like,
we got
who? What?
And they were like,
Oh,
go.
so it's her son all along, and you're like, and everyone goes, oh, and you go, oh,
They had the bit at the end, they're like, write down who you think it is.
and why?
And why. And then it was like, and everyone, loads of groups of people. I stood up on my own. I was like, I think it's my mate Jo because she said she didn't see her thing on the winning page, so she must be the murderer.
So you were just murdering people from throwing people under the bus.
Yeah, it was just me. You know, that was sheer embarrassment where you're like, oh, I must have got this so fucking wrong because no one stood up with me. You know, like when the group stands up and they're like, we think the murder is this because we're really clever. Yeah. And we actually listened to the clues and the instructions. Yeah. But another thing that happened in the murder mystery, I got recognised. And my friend's murder mystery party by the photographer Kiki. Shout out to Kiki.
Yeah.
She was taking photos and she came over and she was like, I'm really sorry to do this, but I love your pod. I love you and Nora's pod, and I recognised you. Please, can I take a photo of you? And I was like, and it.
How did it feel?
Just lovely, because she was being so nice. And there was a couple of other girls there who were like, oh, we know you from the pod. But I just assumed it's because my friend Lauren's a massive fan of the pod. She's an amazing supporter. She'll always put stuff on her stories.
Oh, that's
but
nice.
yeah, no, a couple of people have been like, and
That's weird, isn't it?
another thing, a guy at my work showed his girlfriend a photo and she's like, I know her because I listened to their pod. Totally out of
growing. If you build it, they will come. It's weird, isn't it? Because I've come up on the circuit, it's really funny being recognised as a comedian because it happens quite quickly in the sense, but not in a kind of mad way. In the sense that you could be shopping and someone go, oh, I saw you at Top Secret. Oh, I saw you at the Comedy Store. And you go, oh, nice one. Which feels all right. And then you then you might have people go, you know, and then, you know, sometimes I get a little DM where someone says, I think I saw you on the train today. I was too scared to say hello. I'm like, oh, I always say hello.
Just say hello.
So I always get a little, sometimes I'm, you know, because obviously I'm not like, household name or
You're
whatever.
a household name. Of course you are. You're a
But it's nice, isn't it? And I think we're building, you know, really nice followers.
Oh, the best.
We are building. It's funny, like, because if clips blow up, what happens is you get people that aren't necessarily fans just wanting to have their...
Oh, yeah, wading in.
But actually, all the DM slides we get are just so nice, and I just feel like we're building a community with our little shouldn't laugh butt heads.
Well, talking about being, so you came up on the circuit. You were on the circuit this weekend, weren't you?
I was. Do you know what? I've had to write slow. Well, I haven't had a slow Christmas. Christmas was busy, and I really do like just switching off. I was quite ill over Christmas. I wasn't like chomping at the bit to like get back to work. I done a couple of bits here and there. I did like a charity gig, rah. But this weekend felt like my first like gigging weekend back, and Soho was absolute Sergio Ramos. It was payday all weekend. It was busy. People have finished dry January, so it was all a bit hectic. And I was gigging all weekend, but I did 2 shows on the Saturday, and the second show. Do you know what? I haven't. I've very rarely bombed. Let's put it that way. No, and look, I got laughs. Don't get me wrong. But it was a sticky gig. I followed Emmanuel Sanubi, who really opened and smashed it. So I had good gigs all weekend, 3 really good gigs. And then on the 4th gig, it was just, I had drunk bints on the front row, older women, nothing more confident than old drunk bints, basically.
Yeah.
They were on the wine. They thought they were my best friend. They were chipping in. I couldn't give a flying fuck.
No.
I couldn't even remember what my next joke was. It was sticky. Now, really good friend of mine who's a comedian, his son works at the comedy club. And by the time I left, you know when you're like, ugh, I got a message from him going, don't worry, you're still my favourite. Oh. You know when you're hoping it wasn't as shit as you thought. And then laugh at me, abuse me. Oh, but
take the piss out of me.
Take the piss out of me, but don't be sympathetic.
No.
And then the same mate whose son it is, I phoned him because I was like, oh, I knew they were driving back from again. Like, oh, I've had a howler. Then he went, yep. Rudy messaged me, and I was like, oh,
it's Rudy the son.
Yeah.
Oh,
so God. I had sympathy.
You don't want sympathy.
Yeah, and you know, you're like,
sympathy.
And then and I just sort of, anyway, got in on Saturday night.
Was it a late one?
Fairly late.
And then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, flashback.
But I think everyone needs a little humbling now and again. Listen, don't get me wrong. I got laughs. I finished on a big laugh, but no one was walking out of that gig going, "Cool,
I don't believe.
Who was she? Let's see her again." And
I don't believe that because I've never known. I've been to a lot of your gigs and I've never known you to bomb. And everyone who I go to your gigs with, will always be like, "She's fucking hilarious."
Oh, I am. I am.
God,
but sometimes you need a little humbling. But you know what it is? It's like I feel much better having the piss taken out of me, or like than anyone being nice,
sympathetic.
Oh, sympathetic.
That was the worst. I mean,
because sometimes things happen where, and they were like, oh mate, it was just a bit sticky. It was just a
dying
bit
on your
sticky.
ass is horrible, and I'm sure you didn't die on your ass. And you've got a thick skin as well. Like my skin is thin. My skin is frail. So like,
but you get a thick skin.
Yeah.
You get a thick skin. I mean, it's like, look, we're on this pod. We talk about the pod. We want clips to go viral because we want people to know about the pod.
Sure.
But you have to develop a thick skin when clips go viral. Coming up, us being absolute pathetic little babies when people say mean things. Sour bags, us. How dare you? Do you like my top today, Carmen?
Love it. It's very lacy. It's dramatic, I'd say.
Goth? Victorian goth, maybe?
Sexy Victorian goth.
In honour of Heathcliff, it's Miss Kathy and Do I look like Margot Robbie?
Yes.
You are a bad liar, Carmen Butcher.
You look like Margot Robbie doing a press tour about Wuthering Heights.
The press tour is sexy.
It's steamy hot. I hate that word, but that's the only way you can describe it.
Because they're
steamy.
The two hottest people in the world, Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie.
Where's Jacob Elordi come from?
Where's he sprung from?
He's sprung out of the woodwork, hasn't he?
Is he the one in Saltburn?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I got put off it.
Yeah.
Lots of random scenes. Should watch it. But they are both ridiculous.
Gorgeous.
They're almost too, like when people are so hot, they're just not attractive anymore because you're like, oh my God, you're so sexy. It's like.
Yeah, like you just have a limp, will you, Jacob? Have a limp, I'll fuck you.
Just have a bogey.
Yeah, just
one of your paralyzed something.
Yeah, have a little tiny bit of
white bit there. Like. No, you don't get white bits. Him and Margot don't get white bits after they've been on it.
Just sexy and fit. Right. We've talked
just sexy
and fit.
Yeah.
And just so beautiful. And the thing what Margot Robbie's got is being an Oz.
Yes, because she's almost like my Mandor loves Margot Robbie.
Of course.
Who doesn't? But it's almost like I'm not really that jealous because I'm like, yeah, I get it because she's well fit and she seems like she's a laugh.
Because she's Aussie.
She's Aussie.
All of a sudden, she's the safest. She's just a cool.
She's a cool
They're
chick.
incapable of being pricks. She's not like California, and she's a fucking Aussie.
Yeah, she's a hot.
She's hottie.
Yeah.
Someone called it Goth Barbie press tour, right? I do think Wicked have set the precedent. You can't knock them. We have knocked them. They did too much. But they've set the precedent of like everyone's talking about it. No one cared. Like, telling a kid, oh, Wuthering Heights, you got to go and watch Wuthering Heights. They've made it a sexy press tour.
Oh, of course.
They've also done the Cynthia and Ariana thing of being like almost openly in love. Now, I've seen a lot of people say someone needs to check on Margot's husband, right? Margot Robbie's husband, because she's literally talking about the fact that the most romantic thing that has ever happened to her is when they were filming a scene with the rain coming down on them and Jacob put his hands over her to create a visor for her to protect her face just while they were doing a rehearsal. And then it made it into the edit, which was just like a man, because she had to look up to him. Oh, because he's so tall.
So tall.
He made a visor of his hands to protect her. And I'm just like, yes, my vagina would explode.
Yeah. And he also, did he not put roses in somewhere? It's one of her dressing rooms. And she was like, oh, he would make a very good boyfriend.
Yeah. But I get it. You would be jealous and all this. But they are having to do a press promotion of a romantical novel.
Liam and Pammy.
Liam and Pammy, all of it, right?
All of it.
Cynthia and Ariana. But B, I'm hoping, must have been on it because I believe in the sanctity of marriage, that it shows how, because she's Aussie, because when you're confident in your marriage, you can just flirt it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You're at liberty to flirt it up a little bit, because I think of early days when I met my him indoors, I would be so jealous.
I'm still there.
Are you still there?
Oh,
Do you get jealous of exes and everything? Or
Oh, no, not exes, just like bitches on the street that look at my image door. And also, it's so funny.
Bitches on the street. Just bitches. Because your him indoors is gorgeous.
I remember once, my poor
Bitches on
image
the street has sent me.
Well, I'm not as bad as I was because I feel that's the threat, bitches on the street. But my inventory makes me feel so secure and so loved, so I'm not as bad anymore. I'm only joking. But there was one time when we were in the gym, and my gym is full of really hot Insta girls who look like they've set up tripods. And one of them, we were literally walking to the changing rooms, and one of them checked him out, as they would, because he's fit. And literally the whole session, my poor inventor was like coming over, and I was just like, ugh. And he's just like the whole day, he was just like, what is wrong with you? And I was just like, that really hot girl in the gym checked you out, and I think you liked it. And he was literally like, what girl? When did this happen? What are you talking about, you absolute? And then after that, I was like, fair, that was...
How long have you and him indoors been together? About 3 years?
Nearly 3 years,
Nearly 3 years,
So I am getting to the point now. And also, I heard somebody say that if you're attracted to your partner, they're attractive.
Yeah.
That is just it. And then other people checking them out is actually a compliment, because it means you got great taste.
Yeah.
So there we go.
It's true. But it's amazing how I used to be so like jealous of certain things, like of exes, or do you know what I mean? But also, when I first met my him indoors, everyone, when I started meeting his friends, they went, have you seen him play yet? Have you seen him play yet? Have you seen him play? Now listen, my husband is absolutely beautiful. I remember saying to my friend once, oh my God, I feel like he's got the same eye shape as like Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Cash and Marlon Brando. And my friend just went, you really love him, don't you? Like, you know. But I he's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
he
love
is.
him. I love him to death.
He's beautiful inside and out.
Inside and out, don't get me wrong. But he's ginger, do you know what I mean? Like, I get it. But
That's
listen,
a great look.
but everyone kept going, have you seen him play yet? Have you seen him play yet? And I hadn't. Then when I first saw him play, I was like, oh, I get why people really like were asking that. And he, even when we met, he said, I love the fact that you didn't meet me at a gig, because I think people get a bit excited when people are on stage, don't they?
Yeah,
Like,
groupies.
I think there's just something sexy about someone that can play guitar. And
Yeah.
obviously,
And he sings.
and he's, I mean,
He knows.
he can finger a fret. Do you know what I mean? He can finger the fuck out of that fret, and that tells you he can do other things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Good with his hands.
Good with his hands. Finger me this, Alistair Smith. Smoke on the water. Anyway, so I love him to death. But the first time I saw him gig was when he's from Yorkshire. I went back up to Yorkshire to watch him gig, and there was all these girls, blonde girls, the bitches that we're talking
Bitches
about.
on the street. Blonde bitches on the street.
Blonde bitches on the street. And his nickname Singe. They're all like, oh, Singe, all like coming up to him after he played. And I was like, I've been on the Stellars. So we were in this big transit van because we'd driven the band gear up, and so that's kind of like I'm in a band. I'm not a groupie or a fucking roadie. Do you know what I mean? Up in this shit.
You're taking the lights out.
And all of his friends witnessed that when I got in the van, I basically opened the van door and basically knocked all these little bitches on the street out of the way. And they were just like, to stop him talking to them. And someone said, oh, I just knew you were into him.
What, when you just knocked loads of girls out?
I just knocked them out with fucking, what a beast am I? I'll knock them out with the transit van door, fuck them. And so then...
You had a speaker like loading it in. Fuck off.
Fucking amp. Fighting them off like with an amp. Like they're velociraptors.
Were they literally...
Clever girls. You know what I mean?
When they take that, girls, they
No,
were like,
Singe. And I was like, girls, you should have stopped your ginger racism in school if you wanted him. He's mine now. But point being, 13 years on, we've just had our 13th anniversary meeting. So 13 years on, I'm 10 years on you. It's like the thing with Dolly Parton says in interviews that about Jolene, and she says, she works at the bank and rah rah. And she says sometimes, her husband's passed away now, R.I.P. Mr. Dolly Parton. But she says sometimes, he's had a beer, asleep on the chair and, snoring away, and you look at him and think, I wonder where Jolene is now. She could have him. And there is just this sort of comfort you get to, like, I know when my indoors fancies someone, it's hilarious. He knows when I fancy someone, you know what I mean? And you just kind of go, ah, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because
it's just being human, isn't it?
The things that bind you are much stronger than all those sort of silly little insecurities.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think things that might make me insecure. Like I come home to flowers the other day.
Oh.
So it
but
was just
what if Ali started working with Margot Robbie and she became his work wife?
Oh, can you imagine being a work wife?
Because that is work. This whole press tour is work wife to the extreme. And if Sam was like, Margot Robbie turns up, I mean, her husband's got to be secure as fuck.
He does have to be secure. You are not stepping to Margot Robbie unless you're so secure.
I mean,
and so
Louise.
I think he must be the world's most secure man because she's the world's hottest woman. I think bar none.
But they must have the bond as well. What you're saying about you and Ali have, and me and my mentor, that bond where because there's attractive people everywhere, but that's not actually what makes everywhere.
Yeah, in this
seen
room,
our producer
they're just
today?
everywhere. Oh, our producers are world's sexiest producers.
Exactly, but you have to accept that's that, but it doesn't actually make an amazing relationship.
Well, this is it. Now, back to this other thing. We're going to talk about these stupid men, right?
No, we're not allowed. I'm scared.
No, don't be scared. I'm going to set the record straight here. I'll take this. I took the heat here first, babes. This is what... When she got pregnant, the reply guys talking about, oh, well, bang goes her body. And then when she was postpartum, she had a big coat on. So she just had the baby. Someone did a reel showing the pictures of all the guys replying about how gross she looked, what a heifer, what a cow.
Some women as well.
And some women, like,
come on,
bitches on the street.
Come on, bitches on the street. These were actual bitches on the street. Like, how can you have a ticket for Margot Robbie?
But also, it's like beauty fades, as we know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The things that bind you have to be stronger than the aesthetics.
Protects my grades.
Now, talking about relationships, the things that make relationships, and we've talked about it a lot. So we come for Stephen Bartlett,
oh God,
just so that we could go viral. Really, we just jump on whatever's trending.
You made a great point because someone went, "Oh, you old sour bags talking about a more famous podcast, so you could become more famous," and you just went, "Yeah." That's the plan. Also, sour bags, my new favourite.
Sour bags. The Roundtrees make them.
Is that when you get water on your Coke? Sour bags. Is that when you get a little bit less than what you actually paid for?
Coming in hard with the risque jokes there. See what happened at her murder mystery night. Anyway, sour bags. Now.
Oh, it's making my blood sweat. We got trolled.
Right, you can say we. Right, I got trolled because I was the one cursing. But they were like, well, no, you're not fit to shiny shit. He doesn't want your womb. No one wants my womb. I've got no ovaries, right? My womb's done its work.
Someone put, you can tell neither of them exercise.
Is that what they wrote? I missed that one. And you're like, she does. But it was all gym guys. Every single guy that slammed us had, and told us off for talking about nothing, had like these gym bods. The whole point we were saying about relationships, we weren't saying, and they were like, oh, you feminist bitches, you're the problem. We're like, 80%, 20%. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that, listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
We all we talk about is our husbands and partners, right? The whole point is, drinking Huel, being a gym bod, none of that comes into it.
No.
A relationship takes security,
respect,
work, calling other bitches on the street.
You got to be jealous.
You've got to be a toxic woman with a kind husband. Not a gym guy. Oh, if Ali was a gym guy, I think I'd die.
I know, and I did say you've made this point before, excellent point. If our inventories were sat there trolling some random people, your vagina would close up immediately.
It would pack up its bags.
What are you doing? Oh, I'm just slagging some bitches off, babe. Look at this.
You know they're single. I say it every time. They kept calling us bitter and just, if Ali commented on something,
Imagine it.
The world. Ali is a musician and a builder. He is like the most solid pair of hands in the world. He doesn't go to the gym, but he would just like the things that he can just throw on his shoulder. Like I'm like, he could. I think he could even lift me.
Mate, he could do like squats.
My whole point is right. Guys, you're never going to get a wife if you comment on stuff.
If you comment on random Insta posts, it's so...
Right. And they're like, oh, these dumb bitches are just talking shit.
Yeah. Someone put, stop these nonsense podcasts. I was like, have you listened to a podcast, mate? He was like, all these podcasts are shit. Yeah. That's what people are here for. Do you know who stepped in?
I love that every insult we're like...
Yeah, every insult we're like, yeah. Apart from neither of them exercise, how dare you?
Yeah,
you do
she
dog
does.
Walks. You do dog walks every morning. I'll go to David.
Dog walks. And you know,
that's exercise.
I get it.
How dare he?
I know, but it's not cardio. Is it?
We've got to give our chatty gay best friend
Craig,
a shout out. Craig. He was like,
Craig's
please.
entered the group chat, mate.
He entered the group chat. He has been.
He's arguing with everyone.
He's our favourite, and we're actually on his show on
I
Thursday.
know.
I don't know if
Thursday
we're
the 5th. We are. We're on the Chatty Gay show.
We're on the Chatty Gay. We've
Glitter
got to give him a shout out. So
it's his last show ever.
It's his last show ever.
We
And
love him.
we love
to Glitter
him.
Radio with our lovely Craig.
Yeah, and also just read his comments because they're hilarious.
Basically, you just need a gay best friend to take down the incels.
We're doing what Samantha Jones said.
First you get the gays.
And then we got the girls.
Then we're
now we just got to get the gym bros.
We're
We're never going to get the gym bros. I don't like you. There, said it.
Yeah. And then they said, oh, but it's all right for women to promote Slim Fast. Mate, yeah. Come on, Slim Fast. We'll take a deal. We'd promote Huel.
At least Slim Fast tastes like strawberry milkshake. Huel tastes like fucking pond water. Oh, we've
sometimes my indoors has Huel.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, when he's on a big job, he ain't got time.
Ali.
I know, sexy. It's Valentine's next week, so all them incels, get off our comments.
Send us your Valentine's stories.
Yeah,
Like,
give us some Valentine's stories. I've got
Please.
some good ones. Email us at lauraandcarmen@global.com with all your funny stories, or slide into our DMs.
please,
Shouldn't Laugh
I love
pod.
it. We love it when you slide into our DMs. So
Yeah.
slide into our DMs, send your stories, and you can listen to us on Spotify. Spotify. You can listen to us on Spotify.
Big up Spotify. They've put us on their funniest podcast list.
Yes,
and it's
Spotify. It's true.
And or listen to us on like other things as well.
You can
like
watch us on
Apple and all
Thursdays.
that. This has been Shouldn't Laugh But with Laura and Carmen.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Woo!